Welcome back, everyone, boys, girls, and baby squirrels. How are you guys doing? It's Coach Blaker. I've been coaching professionally for 10 years, diamond in all roles, diamond 2 peak. Today, we're going to be looking at a video that Riot put out. I put the link in the description. I was trying to look for the original video, but I couldn't find it, so we're just going to watch this one. But like I said, if you guys are interested in what's happening with League of Legends and you really want to know the scoop, so to speak, I go over the videos that they make. I go over the dev blogs that they make. I really try to get down to what's happening and try to give you guys my honest opinion as a coach, kind of what's going on, and as a player as well. So if you're interested and you want to be up to date with all this news, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you really feel like you're struggling, if you feel like you're not where you want to be, if you feel like you're better but you're stuck in an elo that you can't get out of, even though you're a better player, again, I highly recommend that you go to my site, check it out, book a session, and really get to the rank that you deserve. Let's get into it. It sounded a little bit low, so I'm going to turn it up. I'm not going to talk while they're talking just in case it's really loud. You guys can turn it down, but for me, I can't hear.
Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy Lee. I'm also known as Riot Brightmoon. I'm the executive producer for League of Legends.
And I'm Andre Van Roon, also known as Medler. I'm the head of League Studio, so I oversee game development for League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, and Wild Rift.
Oh, that's the homie. I like it.
We're here today to talk a bit about some of the mistakes that we've made. And this isn't just about the season start cinematic, although we'll talk about that a bit. It's just the latest example.
The state of the game, both right now and for a little while, hasn't consistently been what it should be. We've heard that from you. We quite agree with it. There've been some good bits in there. I think the durability update last year and Worlds as a whole were both excellent. But there's a lot of other stuff where we have, by contrast, dropped the ball. Whether that's the lack of the season start cinematic, the overall state of our events feeling a bit too formulaic, the lack of new game modes, or whatever. There's a bunch of places we should be doing better, and doing better in how we communicate that to you.
It's kind of all coming to a head now, because season start is supposed to be this hype, epic, exciting moment that we're all looking forward to. And frankly, we missed on your expectations there. So today we want to share our thoughts on how we got here and what we're going to do next.
League of Legends has historically been a very big priority for Riot, and it very much still is. I can understand that may not always feel the case, though.
Right.
For us, 2022 was very much a rebuilding year. For various reasons, we had to rebuild a lot of capabilities, rebuild some of the league team, both individual developers and some of its leadership. The good news is that the team's in a much better state now. The bad news is that the state of the game right now reflects where the team was.
Right.
Rather than exactly what things are like today.
But, there's also been some things that have happened that aren't related to staffing. And so we want to talk about how we got here, where we're going, and I think best to start with the cinematic for season start.
We know the cinematic era is an important key part of season start that a lot of you look forward to.
For sure.
And we fully planned to have a cinematic like we've done in previous years for this year's season start, with the champion-focused, big epic moments, etc. sort of thing. We had the budget for that, we had the right team on that.
Right.
But we failed to deliver.
That's what I was saying.
We're very much going to do one of those for next year's season start.
So you have to wait a whole year for the next one. But regardless of that, someone told me, again, if you guys want to just watch the video without cuts, it's in the description below. But someone told me that because of staffing and whatnot, they weren't able to make it. They weren't able to make the cinematic how it was supposed to be. Obviously, Riot made that post and things about that. And I was thinking, as much money as this company makes, you can even hire a community person to do it. Like he just said, I like how he's honest. He didn't make up anything. Oh, this, that, and he said, we have the people, we have the team, we have the budget, we just didn't deliver. Like, I like him because he's always just so honest. And I love that about, developers that are, very transparent. Riot's not always transparent, but I do see sometimes they do try. And there's individuals like him that really go out their way to make it. In every single interview that he's done and every single video that he's been in, he's just always been honest. And like I said, there's no way that the staffing is an issue or the money is an issue because they make too much, right? You have Valorant getting video after video after video, cinematic after cinematic. You have TFT, the same thing. Ruterra, the same thing. So the fact that you couldn't even just bring up different team members to this just to make the video and stuff like that, it's a bold face. It's a bold face lie. And again, like I said, you could just hire other community content creators. They've done it before in the past. So I didn't like how that was really dodgy and sketchy for me because it's not like they're an indie company. These guys been through the rings way too many times to just use that as an excuse. So I like that he just said we had everything, we just missed the mark. Like, that's owning up, and I respect that to the fullest. Let's keep going. I like that guy. He's the homie. If I could buy this dude a drink, I don't drink, but if he does, I would gladly go ahead and buy this man a drink. I love this guy. He's awesome.
I want to commit to that right now. We also want to commit to doing a much better job of talking with you folks. We knew this was going to be a problem a while back.
Okay, I'm going to turn it up a little bit more on my end too, because I think it's still low. Like, I turned it up, I'm going to turn it up more.
We should have just been
All right, there you
transparent
go.
with you all.
Maybe that's better.
Helped you understand what to expect, rather than ending up with a last-minute surprise here that dashed your expectations.
And it's not like season start is the first event that we've missed the mark on. We have been hearing that events have felt a bit repetitive or lacking some of that twist or special sauce that events used to have.
Right.
That events need to have something novel and interesting to actually do, to play, not just a
Play.
pass to grind or the skins to buy or whatever. And
Like Doom
so I think
bots.
the big missing piece there, in particular based off your feedback,
Odyssey, stuff like that.
is game modes. League used to have a game modes team, and I think a pretty good one. And we ended up using that team as the foundation for the development of Teamfight Tactics and the ongoing development of it. That was great for Teamfight Tactics as an experience, but at a cost to League.
I love this dude. He's just, look, we had a team, but we used it for TFT. We just said F League of Legends. That's the homie. I like that he's honest, man. Keep him. If y'all ever fire him, I'm never coaching or playing League of Legends again. I'm lying, but dude, I love that guy. I love that guy. He literally just said he took away from League of Legends to make something else. Like, how many writers will tell you that? Like, I like that guy.
And we've been gradually rebuilding that modes team. But to be frank, we haven't prioritized it or moved as fast as we should have. The good news, though, now is that we have a modes team who is staffed up and ready to execute. In fact, just this week, we played a prototype for a new game mode a couple days ago, and it's really promising and something that we're hoping to get out to all of you sometime this summer.
So this is a mode that involves 4 teams of 2 who get matched against each other in a series of deathmatch-like rounds. And buy
4 teams of
items
2.
and level up and so on between rounds. It's a little janky, it's a little rough as a prototype.
Yeah, it sounds
There's
rough.
A lot of promise.
It sounds
Our current
rough.
thinking is we'll share some more details about it, some art, etc., probably in March, and then hope to get it out around the middle of the year so that you folks can play that too. Game Modes is one of the places where we'll probably have more changes that we make to the game and ship in the shorter term. In addition to that, though, we're also making a number of longer-term investments in League, kicking off some much larger projects too.
Everyone at Riot, the League of Legends dev team included, of course, wants League to be a thriving, evolving, exciting game for many years to come. And so you might have heard recently that Nicolo, the Riot CEO, talked about how League is going to have the biggest year of funding that it's ever had. And that's because it's true. And that's great. That's great for the game, and that reflects the level of long-term investment that we want to make. And one place that maybe we should start talking about more is the investment that we have in our underlying technology that unlocks a lot of things that we do. That's
something that I hear Riot say a lot, and they've always said it in the years. Again, I've been with Riot for I'm not with Riot. I'm not like a Riot coaching team person, but I've been with Riot, like their game, and I've always been up to date on what they're talking about for years. And something that they always tend to say is, we make a lot of money, so we can do a lot of this. And something that I think they fall short in is actually just saying, we have this money, and this is what we're going to put it towards. Now, I didn't finish hearing what he has to say, but I'm just saying, like, okay, we have a lot of money, we can do things like have this new program. We have a lot of money, we could do things like make new skins. But like, that's not really saying what you can do for us. It's more of like what you're saying that you can, like, not for us, like, I guess as individuals, but as like players. Like, okay, you got a lot of money, great. How is that going to affect me rather than your game just itself? I don't know. Like, as an example, I'm just going to say, okay, we have a lot of money. we can now put that into our our behavioral team, and our behavioral team has different mechanics and different like programs and whatever. I'm just throwing out gibberish, but they can then use that to make League a less toxic environment for players. We have active blah 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 looking at like manpower to solve this issue. A lot of what I'm hearing is like that's always really been from Riot is we have a lot of money, so then we can make a lot of upgrades, and it's like that doesn't really help me deal with the problems that I'm dealing with in solo queue and flex queue and normal modes, whatever. So I don't know. It's like giving League of Legends bells and whistles, but sometimes you just gotta deal with that underlying issue first, and then we can look past this to then look at the bells and whistles. But if the underlying issue's still there, it's really hard to see the bells and whistles that you got to offer. I didn't hear what he said. Just saying, but this is just a history that Riots have always been having.
The benefits of some of that stuff, well, you'll hopefully see in 2023. A lot of it will be multiple year projects as well, though. This can cover things from how we make art and create or modify maps, to how our anti-cheat works, updating that, our engine's capabilities,
our server and hardware capacity that allows us to do things like take over operations in Southeast Asia. There is a ton of
bells and whistles. Like, I want to hear we have a lot of money so we can dedicate this to solving this. We could dedicate this to solving that. We can upgrade our programs to detect this. He did say anti-cheat, so I guess that's something. But like really getting rid of like the toxic players, or not even getting rid of them, but slapping them on the wrist a little bit harder so that they know like, hey, that's bad. Or having it better matchmaking to a sense where it's like, oh, you're gonna have to pick 1 to 3 champions, and that's going to be your champs for a specific amount of time, whether it's a couple days or something like that, just to make sure that you're playing what you know how to play, so that we can have the best ranked experience. There's a lot of games that do that, where they lock you into a specific role, or they lock you into a specific few characters, and you can't deviate from that until the next time has passed. I would like something like that. There's just way too many champions in this game, and a lot of the times people are just trying new roles and trying new champions. There needs to be a way to make it so that way, if there's enough players, no one has to autofill, period. And I don't know if that's a thing. I don't see the back end of their matchmaking, but I'm just saying that'd be huge. And then give us an option to just sit and not have an autofill. I would like to not be autofilled, and if I can have a whole team not autofilled, that's huge, because the higher elo you go, the more an autofill is going to make you lose a game, and the more you have to carry. But if I know that my team's on their exact roles, and they're forced to choose the champions that they know how to play, they're not just whiffing out a first timer just because, that's huge. Right? So if like every patch, it could be like, okay guys, every single patch, you pick your role you're going to have for these next 2 weeks, and you pick 5 champions you're going to play for the next 2 weeks, only in ranked, only in solo queue. Flex, play whatever you want, normals, play whatever you want, whatever mode. But when you're dealing with solo queue, you are forced to play those 5 champions, and you're forced to play that role. Now I know that seems really, really hard, and that seems hardcore, and that seems like crazy, but something like that, and it doesn't have to be that exact thing, I'm just throwing out an idea, but something like that to have us own up to what we're doing, so that way we can continue to improve at a steady pace and climb at a steady pace, instead of losing games because of one person's just not good enough, period, because they're playing stuff they don't know, and just make it better. So like I said, there's a lot of underlying issues that I wish this money thing that they're getting could take care of. I don't know what they've got planned. I'm just saying it's a history of the Riot where they really focused on the bells and whistles to have us go ooh and ah, rather than fixing the issues that we've been having. I mean, these type of situations have been there for like multiple years. So
work happening that is investment into our long-term growth of the game.
And building on that, there's an overarching theme, I think, here of communication, that we need to consistently do a good job of talking with you folks, transparently and openly about what matters the most to you, what you care about in the game. Updating you when things are going well, and when they're going badly, be that the state of the meta, or events, or game modes, or esports updates, whatever it be.
And it's not just the big struggles or big things that we need to communicate on, it's the simple things too. For example, making sure that you all know when ranked is starting, clearly in the client.
Yeah, that was whack, dude. Come on.
So both Andre and I are committing to having more regular communication with all of you. You'll also be hearing more from the dev team on what they're working on and what's exciting and what's in store in the coming weeks and months.
If you've got thoughts on what format you'd like to see that stuff in, is that high production videos every so often? Is that quick videos like this one? Is that blog posts? Is that social media? Please let us know.
big part of communication, though, of course, is listening. So we want you to know that we are listening to you. And we're grateful, honestly, that you're so passionate about League and making sure that we know what you want in terms of making League of Legends the best game it can be.
Very much listening to your feedback. We're working to incorporate that into game. We're going to keep both, sharing, our thoughts with you and hearing yours in return, of course. But at the end of the day, we also know that ultimately it's actions, not words, that matter here.
Thank you for listening to us today.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like major updates, videos is cool, but I do personally like blog posts, and I'm just saying this just for me. Maybe you guys think differently, but the blog post of having concrete, like written things is just, it leaves so much more open to discussion, and it seems to be that there's not a lot of questions once they're done. Right? It's easily transparent. Whereas in videos, sometimes, although it's scripted, you might not get the nitty gritty. I'm pretty sure they could probably do it really well. I'm not saying they can't. Riot's production value is pretty damn amazing. But I am saying for me personally, just kind of having that concrete reading is just nice. But again, I'm old school, so, who knows? Maybe you guys are just like, dude, I want a 5-minute video and get my cell phone. But, neither here nor there. So this is Riot's apology. And I'm actually glad that they're owning up to a lot of their mistakes. Again, the bells and whistles thing, man. I wish that we heard more about, we have this money that we're going to be putting towards this, so then that way we can make the quality of the game better, rather than like, having different programs and having updating the game. And again, updating the game is a huge part of League of Legends. If this game never got updated, it would be horrible, right? We need more champs, obviously. We need skins. We need game modes. We need the stuff that makes it fun. Do not get me wrong. But also, a lot of those underlining issues takes the fun out of it, no matter what it is, right? I shouldn't have to mute because I know for a fact that someone's just going to be incredibly toxic. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go about it, but they're smart. They've been doing this for years. If they really wanted to, they can go a lot harder on and it'll be a lot more strict, at least when it comes to solo queue. I think solo queue should have a lot more of a strict guideline rule, so that way a lot of players just, like, they're going to be held to higher standards. Like, if that was possible, like, treat solo queue as, like, what it's meant to be. You're there to try. You're there to do your best. It's not a casual mode. It's there for hardcore gamers that want to prove themselves. That is what solo queue is for. Because right now, there's too many casuals. Right now, there's too many people who don't care. Right now, there's too many people that type too much. Like, those aren't people that actually want to win. Those are people that are just playing ranked because they don't want to play normals because it's too easy. So if we can do something, then even make another mode for those hardcores. Like, in order for you to play this mode, you got to be gold plus first. All right, that's a little stretch, but you know what I'm saying. Like, something to just separate the casual of, I want to play ranked versus I want to play solo queue. I want to grind and I want to show my stuff. So if like they can do that, man, I'd applaud the hell out of Riot for that one. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys are interested in any of my other videos, of course, they're there. If you guys want to be up to date on what they're releasing, whether it be videos or blog posts, keep it locked. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're interested in coaching, coachbucket.com is where you want to go. Peace. Late. Have a good rest of your day or night. And thank you guys for doing what? Approaching this like a coach.